Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy Monday. Happy 3-3. We are here doing some angel readings, and today's going to be really special because I am doing this specifically well, first of all, for healers to give you clarity on your journey, on your path, helping you to understand your next steps, and also more specifically in relation to your healer archetype. This is I don't know what to call it, like a system, a point of clarity that I've developed over the last year and a half to 2 years now. And it is a total game changer. And so when it comes to your healer archetype, which I'll talk about in a second, just to give you a little brief overview, especially if you're joining me and this is the first time you're hearing about it, I wanted to just share a little bit more about that so that you can understand the context within which we are going to be doing this angel reading live stream. So welcome everyone. I am so excited to have you here. Say hello in the chat. Let me know where you are tuning in from. If you're watching me on the replay, then please still say hello in the comments below. Let me know where you are tuning in from in the world. And oh my gosh, I love that you guys are posting your breakdowns in the chat because that is what I'm going to base this off of. I'm going to be basing the reading off of your archetype breakdown. So we're going to get into all of that in a second. Let me just set up what I had here. Okay, here we go. I just had a few notes on the side just so that I don't forget what I wanted to share and what I wanted to say to you all. And we're going to get into this. And it's so funny how this all came to be because I was guided to do this. I don't know, like I had this feeling of wanting to do readings based on your archetype because that's one of the common questions that I do receive once people know their archetype breakdown. They're like, okay, so how do I actually use this? How do I make this like, how do I put this into practice? So I wanted to, first of all, do personalized readings, like go even deeper with you, each and every single one of you, to help you understand more deeply what your breakdown is, or what your breakdown means. And then recently I sat down with a client and we were talking about her archetype breakdown, and it just like came through, like specifically for her, what she needed to know, why this was influencing this over here, and basically what her next steps were. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want the live stream to be. So that is what we are going to be doing. Now, again, just to give everyone a little brief kind of like understanding, and I'm actually going to rip out a page out of my notebook in case I need to like take notes as I do readings for you guys, because that might be a thing. I might need to like write it down because I'm just like, I don't know. Sometimes when I'm doing readings or channeling in a more in-depth way, it's like I need to put notes down. So anyways, actually, first of all, if is anyone new here, let me know if you're new to me, new to my videos. I'm Christina Aroche. I am a spiritual teacher, a mentor, and an angel intuitive. I channel the angels. I bring through their love, their guidance, their support, their healing frequencies. And I'm here to guide you on your journey of stepping into who you truly are, of helping you to let go of what's holding you back so that you can truly live the life that you're meant to live and live in alignment with who your soul has come here to be. That is my passion. That is my work. And I'm so excited to have you here. Yay. I do see someone new. Shannon. Yay. I'm so glad that your friend sent you here. Welcome. So amazing. I see that you're from Seattle. So good. From the past 2 months. Yay. Oh my gosh. So good. Okay, so I see all the comments. I want to say hi to everyone, but I know that I also want to be mindful of time so that I can get through as many people as possible. So hello, everybody. So excited to have you all here. Uh, so so just to quickly give you an overview in terms of the archetype quiz and the breakdown for anyone who is new, for anyone who maybe hasn't done it yet. Let me just quickly post that in the chat. This is a link to the quiz. So, oops, did that send? Oh yeah, it did send. Okay. So that's the link to the quiz. I just put it in the chat in case you want to go and understand what your archetype breakdown is. So if you're here and you're like, "Wait, I want to be a part of this." Go do the quiz right now while I share just a brief overview about the archetypes. Basically, the way that this happened, and this again, like I said, it's been in development over the last 2 years, maybe 2.5 years, maybe even longer than that, actually, maybe like 3 to 4 years, because I started to notice this first. And then this information started to slowly trickle in. But what I was noticing in my work, because a huge part of what I do is I support other healers and people on the journey of wanting to step into their gifts and into their role as a healer. And what I started to notice is that not all healers are the same. Of course, they're not. Every healer is different. Every healer is unique, but that there is this common thread amongst healers that some healers work in this specific way. Other healers are more, more meant to work in another specific way. And yet there's another way in which healers are meant to work and bring through healing energy into the world. And that started to really become defined as the three healer archetypes, which is the earth healer, ethereal healer, and frontline healer. And when you do the quiz, I share more about, what it means, like your primary and all those kinds of things. I also went on to then create an in-depth 5 video series where I explain in a more in depth, based on then your breakdown. There's categories that you fall into. Based on the categories, you have different roles for each of the archetypes, how they influence you, all sorts of things. We can get really in depth. It's like almost like a science. And I do have a background in science, by the way. I used to be a toxicologist. I have a degree in biochemistry. So that science brain, that science part of me of like and analyzing things and being able to make sense of them, it's still alive. It's still active, working together with my spiritual side and more of this creative side. And so eventually I developed this quiz, and it really is a game changer, because for me, it was one of those things where I used to operate from like a one perspective, which was frontline. And it turns out that I'm mainly an ethereal healer. And so when I actually switched to more of what the ethereal healer does, that is when things really started to just shift in terms of how I showed up, shift in terms of how I felt about my work and about my business, because I was starting to feel burnt out, to be honest with you. I was starting to feel unmotivated, questioning things like, oh, like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And so once this clarity started to come through based on my healer archetype breakdown, I was like, oh, well, all of this makes sense. And one of the biggest things that has come from it, one of like the first things, and as I continue to develop and grow, there's more that's coming. But one of the first things that I actually brought to life once I shifted into my ethereal, more of my ethereal archetype, was this incredible Oracle card deck. Like, this actually came to life, and I actually created this, a real card deck that has been amazing, that so many people have in their hands now. And it's just one of my creative projects that I'm just so proud of. And it's one of the things that ethereal healers, how they bring things through, it's different than frontline healers. So anyway, just wanted to share that story real quick, to let you know that there's a lot of power and magic behind this. And once we start to kind of flow through with what the archetypes mean for us specifically. And as you guys see now in the chat, like, everyone has a unique breakdown. So I want to now be able to go deeper with you and help you to understand, okay, based on this breakdown, what are your next steps and what are you meant to do now and what direction are you going in? So we're going to see how much time we have. Hopefully I can get through everybody, but I'm going to start at the top because I know that some of you shared your results at the top. And I'm just going to go through as I see them. And I'm also going to, I feel like one of the things that's going to happen is the archangels are going to come in, maybe other divine beings are going to come in. I'm going to share which angels are stepping forward to support you, and then what they are bringing through with regards to excuse me, with regards to your breakdown, with regards to what you need to know next, your next steps, that sort of thing. Because most common question that I receive from healers because usually when I talk to people, it's not a question of am I a healer, am I not a healer? Sometimes it is that question, but most of the time the actual question is how am I supposed to put this out into the world? Like what does it actually look like for me to be a healer in the world? Because if you've seen any of my past videos or if you've been following me for a while, one of the things that I always talk about is how healers exist in our everyday life. Like it's not the stereotypical like healer, hands-on healing, like this is all I do kind of a thing. Yes, it could be that. And I include that in my work, not hands-on healing so much, but to be channeling and guiding you through an activation or a really powerful angelic healing experience. But for other people, that's not necessarily what it's supposed to be like. Maybe you are a school teacher and you are a healer, and what you're doing in your classroom with kids is the work as a healer. And so understanding yourself and understanding how you bring through that energy helps you to implement it now. And the other power of this is that then it also gives you the opportunity to understand that it's not that you only become a healer once you have created your business or once you've like stepped into this career or done this thing. It helps you to be the healer now, today. And that's an important aspect to understand about this, is that as a healer, it's who you are. You are the healer and you get to be that energy and hold that frequency no matter what context we're in, whether you're going to an office job right now, whether you are a stay-at-home parent, whether you are whatever else you might be doing. Like you get to use that now. It doesn't have to necessarily be in the context of a business. Although I know that for many of you, that is also part of your vision or part of your plan, is that you do want to bring it form into a business. And at the very least, we can get some clarity today with regards to what your next steps are. Okay, so enough of that that talking about all the things. Let's start with the readings, and I'm going to share what's coming through, and we're going to start at the very top, like I said, with Tisha. Yay, welcome. I signed up for the Awaken Healer bundle. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I did the quiz. My result is Frontline Healer. Okay, so 31.25% Earth, 31.25% Ethereal, and then 37.5 Frontline. And also, what I also want to share is that by like if you, let's say you're watching on the replay. I mean, obviously I'm only doing readings for people who are on the who are on live, but by listening to me share with people and like seeing how I analyze the results and like what's coming through, for those of you, if let's say I don't have enough time to get to you or you're watching on the replay, this will at least help you to also begin to understand how to look at your own results and begin to think about them in a different way or in a more elevated way. And then if you do want to go deeper with this and you would like that support and you want to have that actual time for the Q&A and be guided, be activated into this, then I do have the Awaken Healer bundle that is available until Wednesday. So there's 2 days left. It's 70% off. It's an amazing deal. The Awaken Healer bundle is so powerful. It combines 2 of my courses, Awakening Your Healing Gifts and Master Your Clairs. And it's just like the perfect combination. I'll share more about it at the end. I've already been talking way too much. I want to get through these. But I will share more about that at the end. I will share the link here. I think there's a link in the description. And if you're on my email list, I'll share more about that there as well. Okay, Tisha, let's get to you. So 31.25 Earth, 31.25 Ethereal, and 37.5 Frontline. So the first thing that I want to look at is what the category is, where you fall into. So obviously the first 2 are tied. And then you have one that's pretty close. And my guideline is that if they are within 5%, if you have 2 that are within 5% of each other, then you're going to even them out and they're going to essentially be the same. However, we are outside of the 5% range here. So we're going to look at this as a what's it called? A single primary category, which is where you have one that's at the top. So here you have Frontline as the Oh yeah, okay. Your result is frontline healer, and then those are your breakdowns. Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure I was reading that right. So frontline is your primary, and then your earth and your ethereal are tied as secondary. So when it comes to the single, this is what I consider single primary. So when it comes to single primary, this is where your top one. So in this case, it's going to be your frontline healer is going to be the one that influences your purpose and influences what you're bringing through into the world as a healer, like in terms of your impact, in terms of your gifts. And then the other two are going to be combined together. So earth and ethereal both are going to be influencing your purpose as like supportive roles, but then also in your personal growth. Okay. So I always separate it as okay, what's influencing the personal side, what's influencing the purpose work, and what is there as a supportive role. Now, one of the things, Tisha, that's coming forward for you is Archangel Raphael. He's coming through so strong, and alongside Archangel Ariel. So Raphael and Ariel are going to be the two that are supporting you right now. And specifically, and I'll share this for everyone, as the angels come through, but Tisha, for you, these two are coming in as support for you to, I feel it as almost like this bringing this energy together and helping you to bring it forward, if that makes sense. So it's almost like they're gathering this energy around you and like this like boost into, okay, this is where I'm headed. This is my next level. It's almost like a catapult. Like they're like, we're bringing this energy in and we're going to launch you off. So those are the two angels that are coming in. Now, when it comes to frontline healer as the gift and as the purpose, as that role, like what you're here to do, when it comes to frontline, the frontline healer is all about inspiration. It's all about helping to empower other people. So with the frontline energy that's kind of at the forefront here, Archangel Raphael is showing me that you're here. I see you as like almost like a motivational speaker. Like you're here to help use your voice. Your voice is going to be important. Help bring people together, this energy of excitement. Like I feel like there's this energy of excitement that you bring, like you're pumping up. You're like, yes, like you can do this. You've got this, like this motivational energy, this excitement energy. Okay. That's what the frontline aspect of you is bringing forward. And then when it comes to your other two archetypes, like I said, they're kind of tied with supporting the purpose work, but also then with your personal growth. When it comes to the earth healer, this is where Archangel Ariel is coming through. And what she's saying is that it's going to be important for you to focus on your groundedness and really grounding yourself. This is where I feel earth is really supporting you on a personal level, because staying grounded in who you are, staying firm in terms of your truth, in terms of your purpose, is what's going to help you to for lack of a better way of saying it, like stay strong in your frontline healer. It feels like you might potentially, as a frontline healer, you might be challenging the status quo, which is what frontline healers do. You might piss some people off, to be honest. You might say things that people are not going to like, but not because in a mean way, but because you're activating them. You're triggering them, not on purpose, but just naturally through who you are. You're here to push some buttons, and as you do so, it's going to be important for you to stay grounded. So that's where your ethereal healer, not ethereal healer, your earth healer is coming in to support you with staying grounded and staying focused and connected in yourself and who you are. Your ethereal healer is the part of you that in a supportive role like this, the ethereal is the one that creates like efficiency. The ethereal healer is the one that is, creating a sense of like elevated energy, things like that. And so when it comes to your ethereal healer, that's where you're going to recognize the bigger picture and everything, in terms of like, why am I doing this, and why am I being guided to step into this, and this feels hard sometimes, and this feels really challenging, and like what is going on. And your ethereal healer is what's going to help you to stay focused on the bigger vision and your connection with the divine. Your ethereal healer is also the one that's helping you with like opening, like I feel a lot of energy at your crown chakra, and it's kind of like this surrender into what the divine has planned for you. So the ethereal side of you is where you lean into to come back to the divine's plan for you, to come back to the bigger vision so that you stay focused on what you're here to do rather than like trying to veer off and do a million other things. Sometimes we can feel like we want to do like, I want to do this and I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do all the things. And so your ethereal healer is actually keeping you focused and it's keeping you centered. And it's kind of like, okay, this is what I'm here to do. Okay. So Tisha, that is your reading. So many good things. So let me know if there's any follow-up. You are in the Awaken Healer bundle, so we can definitely dive even deeper into this when we do our live Q&A call. So that's one of the bonuses that I am including for everyone who joins the bundle. You get a live Q&A and activation call with me later this month. So Tisha, we will dive in even further on our call. So let me see here. Okay. Amazing. I just want to say hi to everybody. Welcome. Welcome. Lisa's saying she signed up for the program as well. Yay. I'm so excited to have you here in the program. Oh, Tamara, that's your mix too. I love that. So that's so, what's actually really crazy is I think when I was saying Tamara, like, how does I have to say this? When I was saying like the thing about like pushing buttons and that you're here to like, you might piss some people off, I totally thought of you. I'm not gonna lie. I know that we've had those kinds of conversations before. And yeah, so that's actually kind of funny that this is your breakdown. So I hope I remember you said that to me. Yeah. So I hope you took some things away from that because like that I feel like there's some stuff there for you too. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. This is why I love like group settings like this because when I say something for one person, it's usually not just for that person. There's usually some tidbits for other people. I took lots of notes. Yay, I love that. Okay, let's continue. And also, quick note: I saw someone's comment. I forget who it was. I saw a comment somewhere saying that they retook the quiz. They're waiting for the results. FYI, there's a thing in the system right now that if you took the quiz before, then you probably will not get a new results email. However, if you let me think. I did send an email yesterday. For those of you who did take the quiz, try to find my email from yesterday because in there I did put your breakdown in there. My automatic system lets me like just pull up your breakdown. So if you can find an email from me yesterday, if you did take the quiz, then you should have your breakdown in that email that I sent out yesterday. If not, you can always send me a DM and I'm happy to like remind you of what your results are. I can personally like go in and check based on your email address, but I can't do it right now. So that's just the caveat there. Okay, let's continue with Shannon. My results are 16.67 earth, 29.17 ethereal, and then 54.17 frontline. Okay, I love this. And also FYI, when you guys are doing your analysis, if you want to round your decimal numbers, you totally can. So it could be 17 earth, 29 ethereal, 54 frontline, just for simplicity's sake. So this here is a breakdown that is called a 1-2-3 split. So this is where there's a clear first place, second place, and third place, so to speak. Not that it's I'm saying it that way, but it doesn't, doesn't mean that one is less than the other. It just means that frontline is going to be your primary for sure. And then ethereal is your secondary. And then earth is the third one, which when it's broken down as a 1-2-3 split, so that's the category that you fall into. So for my 1-2-3 split people, your first one, so in this case frontline, that is what's going to define your purpose, your gift, like what you are here to do as a healer. Your second one is going to be a supportive role to your primary. So here ethereal is really focused on supporting the front line. You might even find sometimes that your ethereal pops up in your frontline work. That's essentially how it is for me. I'm reverse of that. I'm primary ethereal and then I am frontline. And like as a frontline healer, which is really talking to people, coaching people, working with people, motivating them, inspiring them, that shows up in my work naturally in what I do. However, as an ethereal, my main way of bringing energy and healing energy into the world is different than the front line. Okay. But so ethereal is going to be the supportive role here. And then the earth healer side of you, Shannon, is going to be really focused on your personal growth, your personal and spiritual. Like when I say personal, I include spiritual, but it's more so focused on you and in your personal relationships most of the time. So when it comes to, so it's interesting. Archangel Michael is the one who's coming forward for you, Shannon, and he actually wants to start talking about the Earth side first. We're going to start with Earth, and then we're going to work our way up, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what he shares. But when it comes to Earth, I feel like the main message here for you and especially in terms of your next steps is I see you working with crystals specifically. Like he's showing me like the Earth connection, but like specifically, I feel like rocks, crystals, like the minerals, like there's just something about that side of the earth, that nature in connection with crystals, minerals, stones, like all that is he's showing to me. So Shannon, I feel like with the earth healer being the one that supports you personally, it's about understanding how you work with crystals and how you even just immerse yourself in that kind of that type of nature. Like I don't know if you live near the mountain or whatever, but like being able to connect with the earth elements in that particular way, it feels like it's very supportive for you in coming back to who you truly are. One of the things about the earth archetype is that it's really focused on creating a sense of peace and inner peace. And so when it's in this position here where it's for you, Shannon, it's a personal growth support type of a thing. This is where you're looking at where can I bring peace into my life? And again, I keep seeing you like, I don't know why, with like rocks and stones and crystals, but it's like exploring that world. I feel like you're intuitively just like have a connection there and intuitively led to those different crystals and things that will help support you in releasing any chaos and coming back to a sense of inner peace. So inner peace is your key focus. And I see that being like the pathway to that for you on a personal level. Now, when it comes to your actual kind of like purpose and what you're here to do, your role, frontline is at the top. And very similarly to what I said for Tisha, frontline is really about that kind of like that motivational energy, speaking to other people, one-on-one coaching. Like there's a lot of this energy where you are here to like in your connection with people, in your connection to speaking with them, talking to them, that's where the power is in shifting the energy. Specifically for you, Shannon, I see that more so in the sense of one-on-one work. Like it feels a lot more like coaching. It feels more like having, sessions or like intimate spaces, like intimate groups where you are speaking with people and helping them to really feel heard and understood. That's the key thing that Archangel Michael is showing me. It's like this sense of like, I'm here to help you feel heard and understood. And through that process of holding that space for them, essentially, that's where the big transformation happens. And then your ethereal is what's supporting you. And your ethereal, I definitely see that as like the channeling that you're bringing through, or just the connection to the spiritual realm that comes through as you're holding space for other people, as you're in this, like, I keep seeing you almost like in like, yeah, like groups. I don't know why, like just these small groups, intimate groups of people, but you're kind of like the holding that space. You're the mentor, you're the coach, but in a group setting. And then you're, like I said, you're channeling or you're holding space, you're bringing through whatever energies, potentially angelic energies, into the space, into the room, so that people have an even more in-depth experience and transformation with you. Okay. So, So that feels amazing. Archangel Michael is the one who's supporting you, and I really love that the aspect of holding space came through for you, because that's actually one of the things that I talk about inside of one of the courses that's in the Awaken Healer bundle, um, about holding space and how we have different ways of holding space as a healer. That's one of the things that you do. You hold space for people, but we hold space in different ways. And so understanding how you hold space for people is going to be a really powerful tool and way in which you are then able to um like really follow through in terms of your gift and in terms of your purpose and how you're here to help people and in helping them to have a shift. But Shannon, I really see when people walk away from like a session with you, they're just like, oh my God, I'm a different person. Like I was not the same. I'm not the same person as the one who just walked in moments ago. And so that is a huge part of what you're here to do. So that is, Shannon, that is your reading for your breakdown. Yay. Um Hello Walter. I'm doing readings on based on the breakdown. So if you have your quiz breakdown, take the quiz. I posted the link somewhere before. Where did I post the link? Oh, there. Okay. I'll just pin that for now. And then when I talk about the Awaken Healer bundle, I'll share more with you guys afterwards. So yeah, so if you have that, Walter, then let me know. Otherwise, you can still take the quiz and then listen to the replay and see what insights resonate with you. But that is a quiz for anyone who's joining in or maybe just joined in. You're welcome, Shannon. Yay! Hello, everyone who's joining. um. Oh, okay. I just saw your comment. Yes. Okay, you got it. Amazing. Love it. Okay. Let me see here. I just saw, I don't know why, Allison, your comment just stood out to me. I also retook the quiz last time by signing me up for the Guardian Angel meditation. What? Did? Oh no. What is happening? That's so funny. But I also need to look into that. Why it signed you up for the Guardian Angel meditation. Thanks for letting me know. Um, okay. Yeah, we need to fix the whole like retaking quiz thing because there's something on the back end that's not working. Okay, but thank you for your patience, everybody, as we move through this. I never created a quiz before, so it was like a really big like team effort, but for the most part, it works pretty good. Okay. Oh, Violet, I'm so sorry. Yeah, if you took the quiz before, you will not receive the results again because there's a thing in the system that's like kind of like doesn't let people to get back into the email thing if they already took it. So we need to fix that. I will share that with my team after this call. Uh, but yeah, oh, thank you, Allison. But hopefully if you got my email from yesterday, it's in there. It's in there, I promise. Okay, let me see. I want to go to Walter. Okay, so there's your results. So 27.5 Earth, 30% ethereal, 42.5 frontline. Okay, okay, this is a perfect example where I would actually bring two of the archetypes together in to be equal with your earth and with your ethereal. They are within 5% of each other. So whatever the math is to like even those two out, 30, I guess what would that be if I rounded up? 28 plus 30 is 58 divided by 2, something something. What is it? 29 point something. That is your, so you have what we had at the beginning, which is the single primary. So your front line, yeah, your front line is the one that is defining your purpose and your gifts. And then your ethereal, oh wait, where did your comment go? There it is. Your, hold on. Oh yeah, 20 earth and ethereal. Okay, I wanted to make sure I got those right. So yeah, earth and ethereal are both going to be the support for the supportive role for your purpose, but then also supporting you on a personal level. Okay. So far, you guys, so far I've had all frontline healers here. I actually need to take a look because I remember looking at it before, like a long time ago, being like, what's the like general breakdown of like the general population? Like people have taken the quiz to see in general how many of us as a collective are frontline and how many of us as a collective are ethereal, how many are earth. Like I'm really curious about that. I need to go back and take a look. I'll let you guys know if you're curious. Okay. So for you, Walter, I feel Archangel Shamuel as the one who's coming forward, as well as Archangel Uriel. So you have these two who are coming in to support you with regards to your next steps in your path. Now, again, we've talked about frontline, and in this particular case with you, Walter, I do feel the frontline is coming through. I see it honestly as like almost like a teacher type of like you have like almost like teacher students, like you're teaching something, a workshop, a course, like whatever the thing is. But I kind of see more of that type of energy coming from you, Walter, where you're walking people through a process. And that's one of the things that the frontline healer does. It kind of has this like step by step. The other thing about frontline healers is a lot of the times what you're bringing forward, what you're guiding people through, how you're coaching them, how you're supporting them is very often based on your personal experience and your personal journey, your personal story. So one of the things that you can think about, and I really feel Archangel Uriel supporting you here, is thinking about, well, where were you like, let's say 5 years ago or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, like 1 year ago even. Where were you back then? And what kind of guidance or support do you wish you had back then that would have accelerated your journey in some ways? Or, having gone through whatever experience from the past and to where you are now, how can you take that journey and begin to look at it as like a step-by-step process that you can teach to other people and guide people through? That's essentially what I'm seeing for you, Walter, as a frontline. And as someone who is here to motivate and guide people, but in this way where you're also teaching them. And the thing here too that I feel coming through from the earth, Archangel Uriel is like, yeah, the earth healer, the earth side, the earth part of us, the earth healer within us, one of the things that it does is that it helps us simplify complex ideas. So as an earth healer, and for all of you, your earth healer, one aspect of it is that it helps to simplify complex things. It helps to bring things into a more like tangible, understandable, more digestible type of form. And so that's what I feel is coming forward for you, Walter, is your earth healer is supporting your frontline healer by helping bring simplicity to things that might otherwise feel complex or complicated or hard to understand. Your earth healer stepping in and is like, hey, like, let me help you to simplify this. That's just part of your gift as an earth. Okay. And then when it comes to your ethereal side, I actually feel the ethereal is the one that is more supportive of your personal growth at this moment, at least. And this is one of the things too. I've had people ask these questions of, well, can my breakdown shift and change, and could I be different over here, over there? And the answer is yes. Like over time, and depending on what part of your journey you're on or whatever, your archetypes will kind of shift and flow and support you in different ways depending on where you're at in your journey and what you need most. In this case right now, Walter, I feel that your ethereal healer is really supporting you with your personal development. And specifically, I hear it as like inner work, inner growth, like inner healing, like really diving deep into yourself to help potentially, heal past wounds, or kind of help you to transcend through whatever fears, limiting beliefs, or whatever you might be holding on to. I do feel like they're in your ethereal. It's guiding you towards some sort of like healing, releasing, letting go thing. Like almost like, I almost want to say it feels like you might still be holding on to a little bit of heaviness, maybe from the past. And there's this this sense of like releasing that to help you be lighter. And that's one of the things about the ethereal is that it helps us to become lighter because it helps us to elevate. One of the key words about ethereal is elevate. You are here to elevate. And one of the focuses with the ethereal is to elevate our own self, elevate our vibration, elevate who we are, so we can then show up as that ethereal healer and support others in their elevation. So that's what I see for you, Walter. The ethereal is more inward focused right now for you, and the earth is the one that's mainly supporting the front line. But like I said, they might shift and change. That might kind of ebb and flow, but that's how I see it working for you in this moment. So I hope that is helpful. Oh my gosh, these are so much fun. I love this. Okay. Let me see what you guys are saying. Kind of like to scroll down, see, and then we'll kind of move back up to the top of the conversation. So one question here from Lisa is, what does it mean if you have 0% in one of the archetypes? Breakdown 0% Earth, 31.25 ethereal. So then the way that would be is of course, obviously frontline is like at the forefront, and then your ethereal would be the one that is supporting both like your personal growth, and it's supporting the front line. So then Earth doesn't really have as much of a role. And I love this because I feel like there's a handful, like I've seen maybe here and there people having 0%, but like to actually be able to talk to you and like that you have 0, that's actually really amazing. So yeah, I love that. Okay, I'll come back to you though. Or I think you mentioned that you're in the Awaken Healer bundle. So we'll also dive deep into that when we do our call inside of that bundle. Let me see. Let me scroll up. Let me see. Hi, Tiffany. So good to see you. I'm kind of, honestly, I want to find someone who's not frontline healer right now, just to give a different example. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Moon Journey. I think I'm just gonna what I'm gonna end up doing is probably I'm gonna end up just like scrolling through and seeing where I'm guided, because I know that there's a lot of you. I probably will not get to everybody. So I'm going to see. Um I'm going to just kind of see where I'm guided. I see quite a great question here too from Ashley. I'm really interested in how to avoid burnout in my healing journey. I keep hitting burnout that makes me question myself and my abilities. Okay, cool. Let's talk about that. So let's do where did Moon Journey go? Okay, there we go. Oh, and you're new. Yay, Moon Journey. That's amazing. Where did your results go though? Oh my gosh, I lost them. Okay, here we go. I found them. Okay, we're good. So Moon Journey, we'll do yours, and then Ashley, I'll answer your question, and I see your breakdown as well. So I'll do that together and support you with that, and then we'll keep going from there. Okay. Okay, so Moon Journey. Breakdown is 25% earth, 50% ethereal, 25% frontline. Oh my gosh, I love this. I love the like just clean percentage. That's awesome. So this once again is a single primary breakdown. Also, I just have to say, you guys, like this is also so helpful for me too, to be able to see like what categories people are fitting into. So far, we've had 1, 2, 3 split, and the single primary, which is interesting too. This is all like interesting feedback research. My research brain is like, oh, interesting. That's what we've discovered so far. Okay. So yeah, right. 50. Okay. So here your ethereal is the main one that is guiding your purpose, guiding your gifts, guiding what you're here to do. And then the other two are there as like the secondary. And again, when the other two are tied, then they are equally supporting the purpose and the gift, and also supporting your personal growth. And like we saw in the previous example, sometimes one is going to lean more this way, lean more that way, and then they might shift and change. So this is why I love these personal readings, because there's a handful of you so far that have had that single primary breakdown, but as you can see, everyone who has had single primary, they still have different next steps and like different guidance that's coming through for them. So this is why I love to do this. This is so much fun. And we'll definitely do this for sure. And you'll for sure be guaranteed to receive what you need when you're inside of the Awaken Healer bundle. Because we will be doing a whole like Q&A activation session talking about this, but also anything else that you need support with. Okay, so frontline and earth are the supportive roles. So moon journey, I see Archangel Haniel coming forward for you as well as Archangel Michael. So these are the two supportive archangels at this time that are coming in and are wanting to guide this for you. When it comes to your ethereal archetype, which is the purpose one, like I already mentioned, ethereals, you guys, anyone else who's ethereal as your primary, you are here. One of the key words is elevate. You are here to bring through this elevated perspective. I see ethereal healers as the ones who are really teaching people about the new paradigm. They're the ones who are bringing in a new way of thinking. They're the ones who are bringing through spiritual truth, spiritual knowledge, and bringing it out into the world. And one of the things about ethereal healers is that they're not necessarily, they still might be using their voice and might be using, kind of like more of this like talking to many people type of a thing, but not always necessarily. You might be more so someone who is like a writer or bringing through creations in other ways, like an oracle card deck, for example, things like that, where you bring through guidance and you bring through direction, but it's in a, how do I say this? If you think about new paradigm and how it's like outside of the mold, it's kind of like that. You're outside of the mold. So you're doing it in a different way. You're not really fitting into the status quo and how it's always been done. You're doing it in your own way, in a different way. And especially in these days when you have technology, when we have, the internet, when we have these ways in which we're able to really bring things forward, our creative expressions ourselves, and not have to fall into the traditional path, that opens up so many new opportunities and so many new ways of being able to do this. Like the card deck, for example. I did not have to go to a publisher, a publishing house, and like do it that way. I did it. I was able to do it myself. I had to figure it out, but I did it myself, and it was the best way for me. So that's just an FYI for ethereal healers. Like one of the things for you is you have to think outside the box and think of like, what is the traditional path towards this thing? Like let's say book publishing, for example, if you're wanting to write a book. And I'm not saying that traditional publishing is not for you. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that it's important for you to just take into consideration what outside of the traditional path are you being guided to do, or like take ideas from here and there and then create your own path. And that's one of the things about ethereal healers. You're here to kind of forge a new way. So think about that. You're forging a new way. You're forging this new direction. So moon journey, coming back to where I'm going with this for you is what I'm seeing is that for sure, one of the things that's coming through Archangel Haniel showing this to me is I very much see you connected in terms of like I almost see you like in a meditative state. And I see you channeling and receiving information. I see you receiving truths. I see you like in a space where you're receiving downloads, and then you're going to be guided to bring that out into the world. I see it in different forms, like almost like different mediums, so to speak. Like it's almost like, okay, there's a book or like a journal or something like that, like something that you're creating physically. But then I also feel like there's something there for you in terms of how you help people experience it. Maybe through like a card deck, for example, maybe like affirmation cards or something. Like I feel like you're bringing things for people from the ethereal realm into tangible form. So I see it being like very physical, tangible things. And this is where I see your earth healer is really supporting you in this process, because The earth healer has this very like artistic side to them. The earth healer is very like artsy, very artistic, and not to say that other healer types aren't, but there's just something different about the earth in terms of how they see things, like visually being able to see and visually being able to like tangibly understand, so to speak, or like understand what people need. And so your earth healer is supporting you to understand what you're receiving as a download. How is that meant to be brought forward into the world? So I want you to think of it that way, Moon Journey, like your insights, your ideas, the downloads, and then thinking about, okay, how does this desire to come out and be expressed in the world? Earth healer is going to support you with that in terms of the actual creativity behind the direction. And then when it comes to your front line, this is where I do see that side of you coming forward as a way of creating connections. It feels like when it comes to, putting yourself out into the world, I definitely see that a huge part. I feel like that's where Archangel Michael is coming forward for you, is like it's time to really put yourself out into the world, or like be known for who you are. And so the front line is the one who's there as like the networker, so to speak, like leaning into networks and creating these networking connections. That's going to be a huge part of how you bring yourself out into the world, and how you make yourself known is through these connections. Like I just keep seeing you networking for some reason. Like, like these networking, I don't know, events or things or whatever, but it's just this way of you connecting with other people through networking that is going to then help or bring through your products, we'll call it, out into the world, and for people, or like partnerships too. That's like, yeah, that feels like right there, partnerships. It's like you're creating these things, and then you're partnering with people to help put that into people's hands. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that is how the angels are supporting you right now. That is the guidance that they are bringing through for you. You're welcome. Okay. Amazing. Okay, so I want to go back to, and also welcome Jenny. No worries, you're all good. Okay, so Ashley had the question. Let me see. Where did it go? I will find it. Okay, there, Ashley, I found you. Okay, so Ashley, so your breakdown is 50% frontline, 31.25 earth, and then 18.75 ethereal. So so you are a 1, 2, 3 breakdown. Let me see. So frontline is first, and then earth, and then ethereal. Okay, cool. And then your question was, in how to avoid burnout in my healing journey, I keep hitting burnout that makes me question myself. Okay, yeah. Okay, so burnout is kind of at the in the back of your mind, like, how do I avoid burnout? So Archangel Gabriel is the one who's coming forward and supporting you, Ashley. I do also feel Archangel Uriel almost like I don't know, like a background supportive energy, but Gabriel is for sure the one that you want to work with, Ashley, to support you through this process. Now, when it comes to frontline, what he's showing me is that I feel like there is a refinement that is meant to happen in terms of the truth that you are sharing. And that could potentially be why you are experiencing burnout, that it might be in a direction. And I'm not saying that you're in the wrong, you're going, like, you're talking about something completely like not what you're supposed to be, but I just feel like it's almost like, if you think of, and I've shared this analogy before in my videos, like if you think about just shifting something 1 degree, it just seems like, or like a couple degrees, and it's kind of like, well, that's not a lot, like you're not shifting the angle too much. But actually, if you look at the trajectory of that line, like when you shift the angle just a little bit and then you keep going, eventually it's going to create a wider and wider gap, right? Like there's my scientist brain coming out again, like talking about math and angles and all that, even though I haven't like even thought about that in years. But you get what I'm saying? Like if you're at this angle and you just shift it just a tiny bit, eventually the trajectory following that trajectory is going to create a wider gap, even if the shift is just a little bit. And that's what I feel here for you, Ashley. I don't feel like a complete, like, you got to change everything that you're doing. It feels more like just a tiny, like, just a little bit in this direction will point you north versus like you're a little bit like northeast, like you got to go a little bit more this way is what I feel. And so Archangel Gabriel is the one who's supporting you with that process. Now, the other thing that I do feel, and I feel like it's tied to this, and in in terms of how you show up as a frontline healer, I feel like there's potentially an aspect that it's almost like you might be toning yourself down a bit, or like almost like, I think of it as the dimmer switches, how you can go full brightness, or just like go a little bit lower. I feel like there's something there where they're like, you got to turn on the full brightness. You can't hide who you are, or you got to own this part of you, or these gifts that you hold that maybe you've been kind of like, yeah, whatever, like, these are my gifts, but nah, like, not like fully owning it and being loud about it. That's what I feel. And that's actually where I feel Archangel Uriel stepping in too, is supporting you in that. He's showing me your solar plexus chakra. I feel like there's this connection with owning your power and really holding that power. And that's a really common thing actually that many people experience, is that they don't want to shine too bright because they're like, I don't want to make people uncomfortable, and I don't want people to be looking at me and thinking that I'm weird, or that, ask me a million questions, and what if I don't know how to answer them? And so I feel like, um, with these two angels that are coming forward, they're helping you to fine tune and refine that truth. Like I said, like finding that true north. And also with Archangel Uriel, really owning that power and that gift and allowing it to shine and allowing it to be seen, and being okay with the fact that sometimes that light shining will make people uncomfortable. And I feel like that's a really excellent journaling question, that or like, just kind of for you to reflect on this energy of, okay, what if people are uncomfortable with my light? So what? Then what? What's going to happen next? Kind of a thing to help you to just come into a space, like I was mentioning earlier in the call. Frontline healers, they will push buttons and they can make people uncomfortable, and they can trigger people sometimes. And again, it's not because you're trying to on purpose or whatever. It's just simply the nature of who you are. And so the more that you can get, like, own that that's just a part of how you work. Like, oftentimes being triggered is a way in which people can begin to shift or begin to reflect within themselves, or begin to, ask the questions that they need to ask themselves so that they can become better and they can heal and grow and whatever. So thinking of it in that way, and like I said, like owning your power, that's just keeps repeating itself over and over and over again. And so that's your front line. That's what your front line wants, and that's where your front line is guiding you. And so leaning into that frontline self aspect of yourself, that is like the one who trailblazes, and the one who is like starting that like fiery energy, and like really like coming in and being loud. So for lack of a better way of saying it, and being loud, and owning that you're not too much, you're not too loud, you are exactly how you're meant to be and who you're meant to be, and you've got to own that. That's what I feel coming through from the angels to support you, Ashley. And then when it comes to your earth, so you're a 1-2-3 split. So with the earth, that is coming in as a supportive role to the front line. And it actually feels very similar to one of the messages that came through earlier about really feeling grounded in yourself and anchored in who you are. One of the visualizations actually that you can do is to imagine yourself like a tree, and that you're creating these very big roots. Like, I feel like sometimes when I don't know if this happens to you guys, but this happens to me sometimes, where if I imagine like I'm doing like a guided thing, or just like doing my own thing, grounding myself, the roots are like, they're great, but they don't feel like these. Sometimes they don't feel like these sturdy big roots. Actually, I want you to imagine sturdy big roots. Like, if you imagine like a 100-year-old tree, how big the roots must be underground. I want you to imagine that kind of those like big roots that are growing, as like a foundation and a stability for you. The earth healer right now is supporting you in creating that stability within yourself, because the more that we can be solid and strong and stable within ourselves, the easier it will be to be loud and, like shake things up and trigger people. Again, not because you're trying to on purpose, but just that's just the nature of who you are. So you need that strong, solid foundation, and the earth is providing that for you. So lean into your earth energy to help you with that. And then when it comes to ethereal, which is for you here as the third one in a 1-2-3 split, ethereal is really more focused um on your personal growth, your spiritual growth. So with the ethereal side, this is where I definitely feel you practicing your connection. I feel angelic energy coming forward. It feels like, working with your guardian angels, kind of beginning to build that connection and interaction that you have, which I'm sure you've already been doing that, but it almost feels more of like a confirmation for you that whatever you have been doing in, talking to your angels or beginning to, sense their presence or whatever, like to continue to do that. It's for you right now. You don't have to necessarily think about how am I supposed to bring that aspect out through my work. It feels more like focus on that for you for right now, and then the rest will follow from there. But I definitely feel like guardian angels feels like a really amazing place for you to either start or continue in developing that connection. Obviously, as always, like other angels are always welcome. But if you're wanting to like find a place to start there. Okay. Okay. I hope that was helpful for you. Um Amazing. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. You're welcome, Moon Journey. That makes a lot of sense. I feel very green and unrefined in my skills. Yeah, totally. I totally hear you, Ashley. But you've got this. Uh, oh, Jenny's saying she got goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps too. Thank you so much. Unbelievably on point. I'm excited to try the visualizations. Yay! I'm so glad that was helpful. So good. Okay. We have time for one, maybe two. We'll see. There was one actually I saw. Yeah, okay. I wanna do one where an earth healer is at the top. And I see Lara. You were like right underneath Ashley, and I saw that, and I was like, oh my gosh, we need to do Lara because she has earth as a primary. So I want to at least try get through people with the different examples. So this is perfect. So we do Lara, and then we'll see if we have time for one more. We may not, but in the meantime, I do want to just share the link to the Awaken Healer bundle. So if you guys enjoyed this, if you found this to be helpful, the Awaken Healer bundle is just going to take this to the next level. Like I said, this is only for the next 2 days. It goes away March 5th. Well, March 5th is the last day. So it goes away March 6th, technically. But you got 2 days to join. Right now, this is access to 2 of my foundational courses for healers, Master Your Clairs and Awaken Your Healing Gifts. Inside of Awaken Your Healing Gifts, that's where I have, on top of the videos that I already have in there, which I think are like 5 lessons. One of them is attuning you to angelic healing frequencies, showing you how to work with angelic energy, also going into your creative expression based on your archetype. But then on top of that, I have a 5-video series in there where I break this down even further, kind of walking through the healer archetype and how to apply it depending on what your breakdown is. So it's 70% off until March 5th. And and on top of that, there's a couple bonuses that are included, but one of the ones that I'm excited for is the private call that you're going to have. We're going to have a group call, live Q&A, activation, healing, like whatever you need to support you. It's basically this, but like even deeper. And of course, you're guaranteed to have an opportunity to receive guidance in that call. So that is there for you. I just pinned it in the chat. I think it's also in the description for those of you watching the replay. to go join there if you want to dive in, and you get instant access. So you don't have to wait for anything. You get instant access to the courses. And I kind of share in like the welcome thing. I'm like, this is generally like where I direct you to start, but it's kind of, pick your own adventure kind of a thing. Okay. So Lara, let's go to you. So 50% earth, 37.5 ethereal, and then 12.5 frontline. So this is another 1, 2, 3 split, but here we have earth healer at the top, which I love. And then ethereal is the supportive role. And then frontline is more so focused on your personal growth, your personal relationships, and your spiritual growth too. So, first and foremost, Lara, for you, I feel Archangel Michael. Man, Archangel Michael is really showing up today for you guys. I love that. So, Archangel Michael is the one who's coming forward for you, Lara. And when it comes to your, let me see, where does he want to start? Let's start with frontline. So when it comes to frontline, and that being the one that's really more of like the personal support and things like that, I see that as showing you where there are opportunities in your personal life, your everyday life, within your relationship specifically, where you can bring through these kind of like leadership qualities, where you can bring through the side of you that is showing this sense of like inspiration, motivation, this sense of like, yeah, like we can actually do this. You know what I mean? So it's kind of the sense of where in the past you may have, just allow someone else to like take the reins. Okay, like you guide the thing. Like I'll just follow what you have to say versus as a front line. And it's not about like stepping on other people's toes, but it's more so just an energy of where are there opportunities. It's an awareness thing where you see that there's space. And this is how I often see it for people is it's like almost like space is created. Like someone might say something to you, or you might just find this opportunity within your conversation that you're having with someone where you are where the space is created, and it's an opportunity for you to say, well, you know what, actually, like I saw this video the other day that was talking about blah blah blah, and this is what I took from the video, and I think that that would be helpful for you too. So you're bringing in this like leading, guiding type of energy, this inspirational energy where maybe your friend's talking to you and is like, oh, like I don't know if I can do this feels really hard, whatever. And as the front line, you're kind of like stepping into this leading role. You're stepping into this role around, well, this is what I have learned on my journey. And I think that this might be helpful for you too. I've been working with Archangel Gabriel, and I think that Archangel Gabriel, blah, 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 like whatever, so you're putting in these little almost like breadcrumbs or whatever into your everyday conversations that you might not normally do. And so that's what the frontline healer represents in this like personal growth type of context. It's seeing where is there space and opportunities that are showing up in your everyday life, in your personal relationships that are calling you forward to step into a more inspirational guiding role that you may not have normally done. And it can feel a little bit uncomfortable because it will kind of pull you into speaking more of your truth. I know that, for many of us, we have relationships where maybe we don't necessarily talk about our spiritual side, for example, or our side where we connect with angels and are channeling them and whatever. So that might be a space or an opportunity where you are being guided, like you're being nudged, like talk about angels or talk about spirituality, talk about this thing that you discovered, talk about that breakthrough that you had that you might not normally do. And again, this is very like a discerning thing because doesn't mean that you just start going and talking to all your family and friends about it. It's really just about sensing and feeling the energy and seeing like, oh, this feels like a space for me to step into that. Okay. So that's where that discernment comes in. And that's what the front line is representing. Now, when it comes to your main purpose role as an earth healer, again, the earth healer, your focus as an earth healer is really about peace. Like think of that as your keyword, peace. You're here to bring peace. You're here to experience peace and bring through peace. And you do that by helping to simplify things that might otherwise feel very chaotic or complex. You have a gift of helping to simplify the process and bring things into a more like tangible, more manifested type of form for people to experience or people to be able to relate to, or whatever the case is. Now, Lara, for you here, the earth healer, I definitely see that like there's a part of that earth healer here that wants to express itself, I feel, in kind of like a more artistic type of way, like whether that is, I don't know, painting or like music or something. I feel like there's something there that is wanting to come through. And with Archangel Michael, it feels like there is an opportunity here to for you to kind of explore. It feels like an exploration point right now for you on your journey when it comes to your purpose. It's like you're kind of exploring this side of you that either maybe doesn't usually get enough time to explore, or maybe that potentially is kind of like set aside. But I feel like there's some sort of exploration here in terms of how you creatively express yourself. And one of the things that I always talk about is that our purpose is directly connected to how we creatively express ourselves. Your soul is wanting to express itself, it's wanting to bring through this energy through different forms of expression. And Lara, with the earth healer and being having kind of more of that artistic side, kind of more of this like different, kind of being able to take something complex and translate it into a more simple form. I feel like there's something there. The example that I really love with this is like if you think about a painter, an artist, or even a musician, and how they will often translate and transmute complex human emotions or complex human experiences, circumstances, they will bring that, whatever that is, and they'll create a song and they'll sing that, or they'll create a piece of art and you can like look at that art and be like, oh wow, I can really feel the energy coming through that piece of art. So that's the example I like to share as a way to help you to understand how that comes through. It might not necessarily be that way. Like it might be writing poetry, you know what I mean? But like more of that artistic side, I feel, is wanting to come through, Lara, and how you express yourself and exploring that creative expression. And then, like I said, Archangel Michael is helping you with discovering it. Like, again, look at it as an exploration. Okay. And then with your ethereal being kind of more of that support to your ethereal is coming in to help you with, I see it as like almost like seeing beyond the 3D. It's almost like you're aware, like on a 3D level, okay, this is what's here, this is what's going on. But then there is also the awareness of what's happening on a spiritual level. Like it's almost like reading between the lines. Like I'm reading between the lines to understand, this is what, like, let's say, for example, you see a feather or you see an angel number and you're like, okay, like angel number or a feather, like I see the 3D, but then I see beyond that. So it's being able to see beyond what is there, kind of like showing up in the 3D, and then taking the deeper understanding, the deeper message, the deeper connection, and incorporating that into your earth healer expression. So that might mean like that you're using like symbology, for example, or that you're like, let's say if you're writing a poem, like, those, I don't know if there's like a term for this, but where there's like, you can say something one way, but then if you think about it, that same phrase could mean something deeper or something different, where it's kind of like, what's it referring to? Is it referring to this or like this? There's like that sense where there's layers within what a certain phrase might say or what it might mean. You can do that, again, in all the different mediums that we think about. You could do that with art, you could do that with music, like whatever those other forms are. There's all these different ways in which there could be like layers of meaning. And so I feel like your ethereal is helping you to look at that, see that, and also incorporate that into how you express yourself and bringing through this layers in your meaning. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions about that, but that is what I see for you, Lara. coming through. Okay. Amazing. Okay, so unfortunately, we're running out of time to do any more readings, but this was amazing. This was so much fun. Maybe we'll plan another one at some point in March. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. If you're on my email list, and you will definitely be the first to know about that. But yeah, let's just say we'll plan for something like this again very, very soon. Maybe March, maybe April. We'll see. But regardless, this was amazing. Thank you all. I hope that even if I wasn't able to get to you and your specific breakdown, I hope that you were able to at least you kind of see how I'm breaking it down, how I'm analyzing it, any messages that came through for someone that you really felt like really resonated with you, take that as a message for you too. And at least being able to see how knowing your archetype can help you to understand what lens to look at things or what your next step is. And then if you are wanting to take that next step and be supported on your journey, and again, like I said, another opportunity for guaranteed guidance with the angels in our live Q&A and activation call, which is the bonus to the Awaken Healer bundle. That is available for you in the pinned comment. It is 70% off until March 5th. You get instant access to my 2 foundational courses. And by going through this process together, it really helps to develop your confidence in yourself. It brings you clarity in terms of your next steps. It helps you to see things that you didn't see before about yourself. It helps you to explore this on a deeper level, because that's one of the things that I've found that I feel is kind of missing in a way, I would say, in this industry, if you want to call it that, is that people teach about like the skills and the techniques, but they don't go in depth in terms of, well, how do I apply this to me personally? How does this look like for me in my life? And I used to do that. Like I used to teach the Angelic Healer certification as just kind of like, here are the skills for you to use, and like that's the thing, which is great, and they're amazing skills to have, and really supports you in your confidence and how you show up. However, I've now implemented this side of it too, which is helping you to explore on a more in-depth level. Like, how does this apply to me, and how does this work for me specifically? So I'm really excited for you all to dive in. If you are inside of the bundle, then I will definitely see you in March for our call. I will share more about that following up in an email in a few days. If you're thinking about joining, come on in. We cannot wait to have you. If you have any questions, if you want to know if this is the right thing for you, you can always reach out, message me on Instagram, or send a contact through the contact form to my team. And otherwise, I hope you have an amazing day. Yay. I'm so glad, Lara. So glad. Thank you, Jesse. And you're so welcome, everybody. So good. So amazing to connect with you. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'm sending you so much love and angel blessings, and I will see you soon. Bye.